Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. I'm back with part 2 of What If Deku was the god of death. I wanted to say this really quick. I think it's gonna be only a 3-part series. I think I might have said that earlier, but this will be a 3-parter. I have some thumbnails already ready because of my boy Crown Fiend. So I already have, I think, 2 series, maybe 3 already, like, ready to go and get going on. So you will be seeing those relatively soon. And as I think I said this maybe earlier, I am in the process of moving. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of sporadic on videos right now. But with that said, I'm not going to waste that much more of your time. And we're going to get off, or we're going to continue where we left off, excuse me. And yeah, let's get it. Izuku Midoriya stands in front of all of UA's pro heroes. It seems as if they don't believe him that he's trying to quote-unquote help. Even in a way, Izuku isn't necessarily trying to help. He's trying to help in a way that he only knows, and that's through death itself. But Izuku stands there and he's stopped by a ton of pro heroes, ranging from Cementos to even Snipe. These pro heroes begin to speak with him, telling him that they cannot allow him to step even an inch further. Izuku tells them that he's only currently trying to help, that the USJ is under siege, but if they really don't want to let him pass, that is genuinely fine for him. He charges forward with his scythe out, slicing toward one of the heroes, as when he strikes the hero in the chest, it seems to be draining them of all of their energy and power. As he does this, the man that just got struck down begins to collapse on the ground and can't even use their quirk. Izuku smashes his scythe into the ground once again as electricity begins to pulse. This red electricity surrounds him once again, and it seems as if he's powering up substantially. He begins to strike down one after another, and he tells them that most of them don't need to fall victim to his scythe if they just move out of the way. Just as Izuku says this, he sees an opening, dashing away and leaving the immediate area. He begins to head over to the USJ, basically dashing over at pretty insane speeds, but as he gets closer and closer, he begins to sense something, sense someone. Izuku doesn't know who this is, and frankly wouldn't know who this is at all, but it seems as if it's another god that's currently within the USJ. But why would another god even be there? What is their connection? But of course, Izuku himself may be the quote-unquote god of death, but he's just the incarnate of it. The connection between him and the actual god of death is something that was made not so long ago. When he arrives at the USJ, he sees that it's under siege entirely, just as he thought it was under immediate attack. Izuku would search around and look around as he sees All Might is currently fighting a giant monster. Izuku would dash over there in a shroud of darkness and would appear right in front of the Nomu, grabbing the Nomu by the face and slamming it to the ground as he begins to leech all the life out of him. All Might is confused and shocked as Izuku would reveal the man underneath it, but just as the man is revealed, the man's skin and bones dissolve into nothingness. He was already far gone. Not worth keeping around. Izuku, more or less seeming drained from what he's done so far, his power is slowly but surely depleting, it seems. Izuku struggles back to his feet a little bit and grabs his scythe. As he does, he feels restored for the most part, but just as he turns, All Might is in front of him, landing a punch to his face. He gets sent flying, and Izuku looks around. What is this overwhelming sensation of death? He feels as if his power is draining, even with hold of his staff, or with hold of his scythe, and he looks around and eventually he sees it. He sees a boy, a kid, someone just his age, but the aura around him is the opposite of his. The dark aura of Izuku is the opposite of what that kid has, and that boy's name is Katsuki Bakugo. It seems that there's this white, majestic aura around Bakugo. He's not sure what it is, but maybe it's some sort of goddess. Maybe it's some sort of life goddess or something of that resort. Maybe. Izuku's confused. Why would that even be a thing? Why would they be here? But he does realize that the gods have been creeping within this world once again. That it seems that when the arrival of the god of death, once it came here, it seems as if all the other gods began to arrive once again. Izuku struggles, but he's able to recover once again, and he throws his scythe toward that said boy. All Might not even being able to react to it as the scythe spins, and it smacks the boy in the face, slicing part of his face off. Izuku is shocked to see that the boy begins to regenerate, as if he wasn't hurt at all. Izuku summons the scythe back to his hand and slams it on the ground, creating an aura that fills the entirety of the USJ. He begins to scream as he becomes one with the god of death once again. The god of death would take over and would begin speaking, asking for all gods to be revealed, that him being here does not open the pathway for them to come as well, that if they want a problem, that a problem is something they will get. Souls begin to get drained from everyone around. All of the unconscious villains begin to basically be a power source for Izuku, or the god of death currently. And Izuku continues to store up this power more and more. But just as he continues to store up this power, All Might seemingly grows in strength and smashes Izuku in the face, basically bringing him back to his normal form. Izuku struggles back and is so angry now. He's pissed. He seems as if there are many, many, many more gods currently here, and they're influencing these other heroes. They might be influencing many more. He slightly turns to see the man with hands all over his body, and Izuku can tell that this man right here has something to do with all of what's going on. Maybe not with the gods, but with something else. He appears right next to the man and tells him to speak with his Warp Gate friend and send them all off to where they're going to leave right now. Of course, Shigaraki is hesitant about this, but Izuku puts the scythe to his neck and says that he has no choice. They all disappear, and Izuku appears in a lair of some sorts. He doesn't know where he is, obviously, and he tells them he needs to speak with whoever is the head of whatever they are. Izuku makes this abundantly clear, and Shigaraki tries to convince him that he's the leader, but he knows he's not. All for One would then eventually appear, and for some reason, this is who Izuku wanted to desperately meet. He had a feeling that something was missing, and he knew that there were people, villains, people of such high power that have such massive influence that the gods would 100% be after them. Izuku was someone different. He was just susceptible. At least that's what it feels like at this moment. He begins to speak with All for One, and he learns of what he's been doing and what's even going on, but he has sensed no godlike figure or godlike powers around him. He's not sure what is even going on. Izuku would then vanish out of the area, but he would drag Shigaraki with him. He would feel that there's multiple people that need to die at this moment. Izuku would appear back at the USJ, and he would have Shigaraki in hands, throwing him toward All Might, and All Might catches Shigaraki by both hands to make sure that he cannot use his quirk. All Might is confused, and everyone else is as well. They're all ready for a fight and ready to take down Izuku, if that's what it means. Izuku scans the area, sensing the goddess of seemingly life around that said area. Izuku smirks as he charges toward All Might and Shigaraki, killing them both, sapping the souls from them almost instantly, and Izuku smirks as he slams the scythe to the ground and as their bodies begin to deteriorate. Izuku says that all he needed was the two of them two pure opposites to be next to each other and near each other, giving him the ability to do such a thing. He would point his scythe toward Katsuki Bakugo. He wouldn't even really know this person. Yes, he's met him before, but he wouldn't know him personally. And Izuku would begin to speak with him, telling him that soon they'll come after him and come after all of the gods. He would disappear as Izuku planned his next move, but as he does, he's shrouded in this black cloud. A dark figure would approach him, telling him that they must continue this entire idea, this entire crusade. There was no going back now. Power is something they all wanted and what they needed. The gods would slowly but surely trickle down from the top of the mountain, and soon they would run out of time. Izuku tells him asks him what the next goal is and what they should do. And of course, there's something that must be done, and that is mass death. That is what is needed to truly enter the true form of the god of death, and that is what Izuku is planning on doing. He needs to control the beings that are in between life and death itself, and knowing where All For One is and knowing exactly when things happen is something Izuku needs to take advantage of, and something he will take advantage of. He would then appear at a warehouse, a giant warehouse filled with beings that are terrifying, genetic freaks of nature that are dead. They're literally soulless with nothing in between. Izuku would then fill them with souls as he began controlling them at a whim. Izuku would then lay waste to most of the cities in Japan, continuing this mass destruction, death after death. Eventually, it would get to the point that everyone was on high alert. Izuku would be standing there waiting for everybody to arrive. There's something they needed to do, something they needed to see. How many of the gods were coming? How many were going to be on Earth? The gods, for a long time, sat idle, sat by looking at whatever was going on, not even blinking at what was happening. And of course, Izuku would await longer and longer the arrival of these so-called gods, and when these gods would arrive, he would be in complete shock. Every last one of them has been waiting here for this said moment, this moment in time, and all of the heroes and even the villains would arrive ready to take down and kill the god of death. Death itself was just a construct. Izuku believed that in his heart of hearts, and believed that he could kill all of them in a matter of seconds. Maybe he could. This was no guarantee. Nothing was a guarantee. Izuku knew this. Izuku would walk forward, ready for a fight, ready to take out whatever was ahead of him, but in a matter of seconds, everything would go dark. Everything would be gone. Izuku would be confused as he walks through this perilous and dark hallway. What is happening? What is this? Izuku would be confused. He's not even sure what's happening and what even happened. He would close his eyes once again, opening them up to see everything, that entire fight playing on some sort of film roll, as if he was watching the life that he just went through on a TV screen, on a screen itself. Izuku would continue to watch over and over and over again, until one last time Izuku would see the same ending that he would see him fall to the ground, blood spilling and scythe shattering. He would be the last one to perish, to go away forever. Izuku would watch it over and over and over again. Screams would be heard all around him, and he would scream himself as if pain began to flow throughout his entire body. he would look up to the sky and wonder what happened, what even occurred, and he would scream one last time as things would fade to entirety of darkness. But then out of nowhere, he would see a light, a single light. And as he would wake up in a feat of shock, he would look around. He was back at home. He was so confused. He didn't know what was happening, but he was back at home, and he would walk around, and he walked to the kitchen to see his mother still standing there with a smile on her face. She would begin to ask how he slept, and fear would rush through him. This is not the world that he sought. He would begin to think in his head where the other being is. Where is this monster that made him into the god of death? Not anywhere to be seen. Izuku was confused, in complete, utter disbelief. As he would speak with his mother, he would ask where and when is this time, what is going on, and she would say that it's a Thursday. She would be confused, and Izuku would look at the calendar. It was months before his mother disappeared, months before all of this occurred. He's confused. How did this all happen so quickly? What is happening entirely? A knock would be at the door, and he would walk over, opening it up, and a bright light would stand there right in front of him, as if there was something else in wait. Izuku would walk out that door, and he would be on that said battlefield once again. The same battlefield that he perished on. He wasn't sure what was happening, but a second chance was gifted to him. Maybe this time he would make the right choice. Or would he follow suit with the god of death? Well, you'll have to find out in the last part of What If Deku Was the God of Death. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a sub, make sure to leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And I hope all of you have an amazing day. And one thing, I do have other series, like I said, coming very soon. I'm going to be posting those thumbnails. Shout out to Crown Fiend, of course. He's the GOAT, and he made a little different thumbnail style, and I actually kind of like it. It's pretty simple, but it's at the same time pretty complex. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.